All right, happening right now, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani and New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch are giving an update to the violent protest that happened outside the mayor's home over the weekend. Now, 2 Pennsylvania men have been arrested and charged with throwing IEDs. Let's listen.
Good morning. On Saturday, a protest was held outside Gracie Mansion, where I live with my wife, Rama. Neither of us were home at the time. This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City. I'm the first Muslim mayor of our city. Anti-Muslim bigotry is nothing new to me, nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home. While I found this protest appalling, I will not waver in my belief that it should be allowed to happen. Ours is a free society where the right to peaceful protest is sacred. It does not belong only to those we agree with. It belongs to everyone. I will defend that right every day that I am mayor, even when those protesting say things that I abhor. Let me also be clear about something else. New York City will never tolerate violence, whether from protests or counter-protests. Many of the counter-protesters met this display of bigotry peacefully, with a vision of a city that is welcoming to all. But a few did not. 2 men, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, traveled from Pennsylvania and attempted to bring violence to New York City. They are suspected of coming here to commit an act of terrorism. There is video of these 2 individuals throwing 2 devices towards the protest. The police department has determined that these were improvised explosive devices made to injure, maim, or worse. Thanks to the swift and decisive actions of NYPD officers at the scene, both men were immediately taken into custody, and the devices they brought taken off of our streets. I want to commend the officers who were on site. They faced a chaotic situation that very quickly could have become far more dangerous. NYPD Chief Aaron Edwards and Sergeant Luis Navarro ran towards the danger so that others could run to safety. They are here with us now, and I want to thank them today publicly as I did yesterday privately, and to thank the dozens of other officers who responded without hesitation. That is courage, that is selflessness, and I'm deeply grateful to both of them and to every member of the NYPD who works every single day to keep New Yorkers safe. As the NYPD continued their investigation yesterday, they found a 3rd suspicious device in a vehicle on East End between 81st and 82nd Street. Out of an abundance of caution, they conducted a number of limited evacuations of nearby buildings before removing the device from the area. Once the device was removed, those evacuated were allowed to return to their homes. I am grateful for their continued work to keep New Yorkers safe. And let me say this plainly. Anyone who comes to New York City to bring violence to our streets will be held accountable in accordance with the law. As this case continues to develop, I will remain in close contact and communication with our police commissioner. I want to say thank you once again to everyone who acted on Saturday to protect their fellow New Yorkers and to uphold the values of this city. Now, I would like to invite Police Commissioner Tisch to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. First, I will tell you that we are not at liberty to discuss many aspects of the ongoing investigation at this time due to the pending prosecution. The suspects here, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, are going to be prosecuted in federal court here in Manhattan, and a complaint will set forth criminal charges and the factual allegations supporting those charges. After that complaint is made public, which I expect to occur later today, I will be able to say much more about the investigation and what we have learned in this case. But it is crucial that we respect that process and not get ahead of it. That being said, I can confirm this morning that this is being investigated as an act of ISIS-inspired terrorism. I can also provide some additional information building on my remarks from Saturday evening. At that time, we were beginning to conduct preliminary analysis of two devices that were ignited and deployed earlier that day, one in a crosswalk on East End Avenue and East 87th Street, and the other on the west side of East End Avenue between East 86th and East 87th Streets. That testing was performed by the NYPD's bomb squad and FBI special agent bomb technicians in consultation with an FBI chemist. Preliminary test results determined that these were not hoax devices nor smoke bombs. They were improvised explosive devices that could have caused serious injury or death. Part of our initial investigation was to determine what energetic substance, if any, was used in the two devices, and our analysis showed that one of the devices deployed by the subjects contained the substance triacetone triperoxide, known as TATP. Now, TATP is a dangerous and highly volatile homemade explosive that has been used in IED attacks around the world. Our bomb squad then rendered safe both devices. And as of now, explosive evidence samples are being sent to an FBI lab for further testing. Our investigation also led our detectives to a vehicle that was tied to the suspects. And yesterday afternoon, patrol officers found that car, a black 2010 Honda with New Jersey plates on East End Avenue between East 81st Street and East 82nd Street. Using a robot, the NYPD's bomb squad was able to find another possible suspicious device and materials inside the car consistent with the first two explosive devices, and the area was immediately frozen and cleared. A limited evacuation of certain floors and certain nearby buildings was conducted while the officers secured the vehicle and removed this third device, which was transported to Rodman's Neck for further testing. This third device tested negative for explosive material. Once the scene was secure and deemed safe, residents were allowed to return to their homes. Now, we have been in a heightened state of alert in New York City since the start of hostilities in Iran, and we remain in that posture today. We will continue to deploy additional counterterrorism resources throughout New York City, including heavy weapons teams, K-9 units, aviation, and more. The NYPD is vigilant and determined.
All right, let's bring in our head of our police and public safety unit, Anna Schecter, to talk more about this. So we've just heard that briefing from the mayor and the police commissioner, so we understand sort of where they've located these devices. But it is sort of remarkable that we've continued to see, even as we understand that the military campaign against ISIS, as we knew it, has subsided, but that ISIS continues to inspire people, mostly young people, to carry out these types of heinous acts.
It's a great point. We've seen several cases of thwarted plots, young people, usually young men, who see things online and they start to plan in groups. They take a chat that's happening online and then they want to take that into the real world, which is likely what happened in this case. We don't know exactly how Ibrahim Qayyumi and Amir Bailat knew each other, but we know they came together. They drove that 2010 Honda into the city from Pennsylvania, bringing these devices, as well as a third device that did not have that critical TATP substance, which is what is so dangerous. It's highly volatile, explosive material. And that's why Commissioner Tisch is saying this could have harmed, maimed, or killed people had it exploded as she believes they intended it.
So you know that we know that this is ISIS-inspired. Do we believe that this is in reaction to what's happening in Iran? And then what's the overall threat level in metropolitan areas in the U.S. now that we're in this war?
Great question. I'll take the last part first. All of these major cities are in a heightened threat environment, a heightened alert posture. So you have counterterrorism teams that in different cities are all talking to each other. They are monitoring online spaces. They're in Telegram. They're on Discord. They are communicating with counter-terror officials who are based in Amman, in the Gulf, in Tel Aviv. There's a constant communication every day talking about how do we mitigate this threat. And in this case, you had two essentially lone wolves who were probably self-radicalized online that carried out an attempt. And this is Jessica Tisch's worst nightmare, and the counterterror czar, Rebecca Weiner. Like, she wants to stop this before it happens. Now, thankfully, those didn't explode, but this is not a good scenario for them. They don't want lone wolves to get to a place where they're actually throwing homemade bombs.
Well, I mean, you heard the mayor there who said in his remarks that he is not against any type of peaceful protests. But to your point, Anna, I mean, it feels we'll never know the number of attacks that are thwarted, because it's not the ones that are thwarted that you hear about. It's only the ones that are successful, or in this case, almost successful, that we learn about. But, you know, people have got to be worried if you are on a subway or if you are on a bus, because it doesn't appear, I don't know if you've been able to discern this, but that there was any kind of online chatter that would have led the FBI to realize that these two young men from Pennsylvania had become radicalized and were planning to carry something out. Because you imagine that we are so connected on technology that once you start to plot something, you probably share something on your phone or on your computer, and that's how they get you.
Look at the Halloween plot in Michigan. There was a group of young men, and they were communicating online, and there was an FBI agent who was living in that online space and monitoring these plans. And they were charged before anything happened. But you had somebody wearing a wire because there were transcripts from conversations of a park meetup where they were talking about that. Another case of ISIS inspired. Now, you asked about the Iran war. Of course, you're going to see people potentially, there's a greater call to action online. So you have recruitment happening. There's an uptick of chatter, extremist chatter online around the world and amongst people here in the U.S. And so that is why we are in this heightened threat environment, because these counterterror experts, their job is to live online and monitor all this rhetoric.
But did this slip through the cracks then?
Probably. It doesn't appear that they were on the FBI's radar to me, based on everything that I know. But here's the thing, is you could have two people who know each other who are doing this in real time and not creating that digital footprint that the FBI can monitor. So that could be a scenario where this happens. But likely some kind of online material. And then they're also looking at foreign travel. Now, this could be nothing. This could be just their families are from Turkey, one of them has family in Turkey. Their family was originally from Afghanistan, came here years ago, 20 years ago. So, you know, a lot of us have family or our first generation here. So it could be nothing. FBI is looking at, did they travel and meet with people? Did they get training overseas? So that's a really key part of this investigation.
All right. Anna Schecter, thank you very much. As always, appreciate your reporting.